Assalamualaikum and good morning to all the viewers. We are from Group 6. We present to you about safe chemical disposal method to protect people and the environments to be safe.
First of all, we are going to look at introduction. First, what is chemical disposal? Chemical disposal refers to the safe and responsible way of disposing of unwanted or unused chemical. Second, where are the origin placed? It's usually come from industrial processes, laboratories, hospitals and healthcare facilities, and construction and demolition. Third, why are chemicals dangerous for people and environment? Chemicals dangerous for people because chemical will cause people to get cancer, stress to luck, and allergies. And chemical will cause environment to get climate change, air pollution, and water pollution.
Moreover, we are going to talk about the content of the methods for handling chemicals for safe disposal.
Chemical waste. What is the meaning of chemical waste? Chemical waste is any unnecessary or excess use of a chemical or a chemical substance that could harm human health or the environment when released to the air, water or land. We have four types of chemical waste. It is ignitable waste, corrosive waste, reactivity waste and toxicity waste. Ignitable waste. Any waste that is flammable and can create fires. Example, liquids with flash point below cure, non-liquids with the potential to ignite via specific condition and compact gases. Corrosive waste. Any waste, typically acid and bases, that can rust and decompose and has the ability to melt through steel materials. Example, aqueous waste with an acidity level of equal to or less than 2 pH or equal to or greater than 12.5 pH. Reactivity waste. Any waste that is explosive, unstable under normal conditions. Example, any waste capable of explosion and detonation that may produce toxic gases. And lastly, toxicity waste. Any waste that is a fatality poisons when ingested or absorbed. Example, lithium sulfur batteries and other materials that can cause death when swallowed.
Next, I will talk about chemical handling and storage. Let's start with chemical handling. I will use alcohol or ethanol as an example. This popular chemical is used for cleaning and disinfection in a variety of places including residences, hospitals, and laboratories. The general procedures for ethanol are as follows. First, minimize transfers. Accidents are more likely the more chemicals you handle. To reduce the amount of chemicals that are transferred between containers, plan your processes. Second, careful opening. Before completely opening containers, let them vent slowly to release any built-up pressure. This avoids unexpected splashes or eruptions. Then, never test or smell the chemicals. This is a risky procedure that can cause poisoning or hazardous fume inhalation. Rely on appropriate identifying techniques at all times. And the last point for chemical handling is proper disposal. To safely dispose of waste chemicals, adhere established protocols. Keep them out of the environment and never pour them down the drain. For advice, get in touch with your neighborhood waste disposal authority.
Moreover, we are going to talk about chemical storage. Firstly is segregation storage by hazard class. It was like toxins, flammables, corrosive and oxidizers should all be stored apart to avoid hazardous interactions. For example, flammable materials must be maintained away from heat sources and oxidizing chemicals. Secondly is appropriate storage containers. Choose containers compatible with the specific chemicals have to be stored. Glass bottles are suitable for many chemicals, while some might require specialized containers like polyethylene for strong acids or base. Thirdly is temperature control. There must be a certain chemicals that we have to store in a specific temperature range to ensure safety. For example, flammable materials must be stored out of direct sunlight and heat sources. Fourthly is secure storage cabinets. To store dangerous chemicals, we can use closed cabinets that are strong to make sure that it is secure to save. Flammables need to be kept in cabinets with special safety cans. And lastly is secondary containment. Install lips or spill trays around shelves to catch any possible spills or leaks. Next, as you can see on these pictures, this is the examples of how chemical is being handled and storage with the right way.
Next is about chemical segregation. Chemical segregation refers to the practice of keeping different chemicals separate from each other to prevent unintended reaction or hazards. This segregation is particularly important in industrial settings, laboratories, storage facilities, and other areas where various chemicals are handled. There are a few aspects of chemical segregation. The first aspect is about incompatibility. Chemicals are segregated based on their compatibility or incompatibility with each other. Second aspect is about storage considerations. Chemicals with similar properties are often stored together, while incompatible substances are kept apart. Storage methods may include separate cabinets, rooms, or designated areas with appropriate ventilation and containment measures. Third aspect is labeling and identification. Labels should include information about the chemical name, hazards, and any specific storage or handling requirements. This aspect is about emergency response planning. Facilities should have clear emergency response plans in place, including procedures for dealing with chemical spills, leaks, or other incidents. Next is about general guidelines on how to implement chemical segregation. First is know the properties of chemicals. Second, categorize chemicals. Third, use separate storage areas. The last one, avoid mixing incompatible chemicals. These features is about segregation chart and hazard symbol.
For the next topic, I will talk about transporting chemical waste. There are 5 methods to transporting chemical waste. First, containerization. Second, compatibility. Third, documentation. Fourth, training and certification. And the last one is emergency preparedness.
Let's continue by my pipe disposal method. Disposal method is solid waste management, the collection, treatment, and disposal of solid material that have served their purpose or are no longer useful. Landfill, separate and distribute rubbish that cannot be recycled or repurposed into a thin layer across the city low-lying section. After every wash layer, a layer of soil is added. Then we have incineration. Incineration is a type of controlled waste combustion that is used to eliminate non-combustible elements like ash and residual gas.
The third of disposal methods on how to dispose chemical waste is biogas generation. It is started with food waste, animal waste, and organic industrial waste from food packaging businesses are all transferred to biodegradation plants. And fourthly is vermicomposting. It starts with Worms are used in the process to break down organic waste into compost that is high in nutrients. Organic matter is consumed and digested by the worms, and it is far more effective than standard composting. And lastly is composting method, which are all organic compounds degrading. Food, yard, garbage, and other everyday objects are among the most common organic waste that we generate. Next, we can see this is the pictures, the methods of solid waste disposal management.
In conclusion, there are many hazardous chemicals or toxic in very small amount, whereas others can have large volume of exposure before there is a reaction.
References list that we search about the method for handling chemicals for safe disposal. There are 5 references that we use to complete this assignment.
That's all from us. Thank you for spending your precious time in this presentation. We hope that you will learn something over the lessons.